So you guys have already been informed that my background, I'm a professional actor. I've been acting for almost 30 years. I've done films, television, web series, theater. I've directed a film, written a film. Recently I became an author. I've written a book. So I've been around, I've done a lot of things, and the book that I wrote had to do something with introversion. And the topic today is mental health. And I'll tell you why I've chosen mental health. One day I get a call from the police and said, Mr. Samir Soni. I said, yeah. He said, do you know so-and-so? I said, yeah, I know so-and-so. He says, he has hung himself. He's 26 years old. He came from Bangalore, and he was an upcoming actor. And that really, really troubled me. And also, I personally have experienced certain mental disorders from time to time. So let's get into it, right? When you say mental health, what exactly are we saying? When we say physical health, it's very clear what we're talking about, right? Physical health, to see if a person is physically healthy, well, does he have six-pack? His cholesterol is okay? Blood pressure? You have so many things through which you can judge a person's health. That is physical health, right? But with a brain, how do you judge that the brain is healthy? We just assume, until something happens, somebody falls down, somebody does something which is not the usual, we really don't care. Now, in mental health, or in physical health, you have parameters in terms of what your cholesterol should be. You have a bar to which you can equate where you stand. That if your age is 50, cholesterol should not be more than 120. The bar has been set by doing a number of tests. But with mental health, you can't even do that. I mean, you forget there are no parameters to judge how you're doing, but to this in terms of relative to what the bar is set. You would agree that the brain is the most important thing we have. I mean, some people can argue mind, can argue heart. I'd say heart is your power point. If you unplug the computer, it doesn't work. And brain is the CPU, because the brain's job is to process all the information you've collected, are collecting day by day, and store it. So if you've gone through a dark alley and you saw a man wearing certain clothes and attack you, that gets stored with fear and another emotion. So next time you're about to go through an alley, you will think, are you sure? Because your brain job is also to protect you. The brain is saying, no. Remember last time this happened? Don't do it. So from a position of the brain being something or someone who will protect you no matter what, we have overloaded the brain and neglected the brain for so many years. Every time a new technology comes, who figures it out? The brain. So, and like I said, we can't do brain mapping. There is such things like brain mapping, and you can do that, but it's not readily available. Yeah, I just lost my thought. Yeah, my story. It was about 20 years back. I was going through a tough phase, and professionally I wasn't doing well. Personally, I wasn't doing well. And I decided, I didn't know what was happening. I did not meet my friends for 2 years. They would ask me out, and I'd say, no, if I had to work, I'd go work. But otherwise, I wouldn't meet them. So they said, Samir is like this. He's an introvert. Then it became to a point that I didn't feel like getting out of my bed. If I had to go for a show function, and being in the profession I am, which you have to be larger than life, I would be sweating, my heart would be racing, and my eyes would be shutting. So your body is sending so many signals to you. You're sweating, you're tired, at the same time the heart is beating fast. You don't know what's going on. So I'm thinking, should I sleep? What should I do? Or should I take another cup of coffee or something? So that day I took about 2 hours to get ready, got into my car, and this was one of the award functions, and I took a U-turn and went back. I didn't go. I didn't have the courage. I couldn't do it. It was just simple fear. Just simple fear. I don't know what's it. I mean, fear which existed like, fight or flight when we all were hunters and gatherers. Anytime we were faced with a lion or any other animal, your body was told to run faster. So that's what I was facing. And then I went and met a doctor. And it was discovered that I have general and social anxiety disorder. And I've lived with this pretty much all my life. And this disorder really means that when you're with people, you really don't want to be with them. And that's how I came across, a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists and tried to figure out, look, otherwise I'm a perfectly normal guy. I can, fairly smart. And I was put on therapy. But the thing that bothers me is, and you will agree, that we live in a world which is the most comfortable world. Technologically, we are living in the most beautiful world. 20 years back, you couldn't even think of, if you want to make a phone call to your brother abroad, how we used to do this rotator telephone? You call up and say, I want to speak to so-and-so, this number. They would book your call. And then you sat next to that phone, wait for the lady who's, whatever she is. And she would call and say, okay, you can talk to your brother for 3 minutes. So you wait for 1 hour. You speak for 3 minutes. And then say, sir, 3 minutes ho gaye. Do you want to extend? And then you take a call. We live in the most comfortable times in the entire universe, and we are the most unhappy people right now, or disturbed. If we could do a thing in 5 hours, and that we cut down to 1 hour, we thought that those 4 hours would be ours, but we've loaded those 4 hours as well. The crime rate, the suicide rate, the mental health in terms of the psychiatrist, the psychologist is all going up. Then what is the problem? If we are so comfortable that I can, open a phone and speak to so-and-so, then why this so-called mental health thing, and what is it? What is mental health? For example, if you have a stomachache, you go to a doctor. This is what he examines, specializes, and says, okay, you need to have this medicine. With the brain, with the mind, what happens is that it is handling too many things. All the data is going through, and now you can't manage everything properly. The amount of time you need to give to your wife, to your girlfriend, to your friends, you're not able to. You're losing a job, but at the same time, your wife is not happy. So your mind cannot manage these things. So if you can't manage a situation you have found yourself in, you need help. You could be in college. You could be studying for your exams and whatever, and then you're not prepared, and mom, dad are having a tough time. So whenever you're in a situation which your mind can't handle, okay, you normally will go to friends. Usually, friends is the first thing. And the first thing they would say, what they said to me, was, hey, don't think so much. Come on, let's have a drink. Come, let's go. Let's not drink. You don't think about this thing. But those blues don't go away. The set of problems that I have are there. You tell your parents and say, oh my God. And if they see you've been sleeping for 2-3 days or something, they are worried. They can't handle it. Fact of the matter is, nobody can, because nobody knows how you feel. So you go to a specialist. It appalls me that we live in a society that it's okay for a person to come home tired for his work and have 2 vodka shots or a glass of whiskey, and that's normal. And that's okay. But if he was to go to see a psychologist, People say, what's wrong with you? And the growth is, the growth of mental illness, if not detected at the right time, can create havoc for you later on. There was this gentleman, I had gone to meet a doctor, and this older, elderly gentleman was there, and I said, why are you here? And he said, my son had a problem. So I didn't know what he was talking about. He says he has a problem. So he said, he's bipolar. I said, what does that mean? And what does it mean to be bipolar? I said, I'm sorry, if you don't mind, can you elaborate? Can you tell me that how does it show up? He says he was in 10th standard and he was absolutely a brilliant child with straight A's and everything. And he was dating this girl. Unfortunately, that year he got bad grades and something went wrong with the relationship. And he just lost it. He would not come out of his room, would sleep every day, would read the same paragraph over and over again. Now parents were getting worried. So very reluctantly they said, maybe we should get a specialist. There is something happening to him, which we don't know, and we can't explain. And no medicine can cure that. So they went to a doctor. Now, parents suffer too. My friend who was in the US one day called me up and he was saying, my wife is not feeling well. I said, why, what happened? He said, no, and I think she has some trouble. I met her, she came over to my house, and perfectly normal, intelligent girl with an MBA from, I think, Waterloo School of Management. Great job. My friend had an MBA. Something happened. She lost a job. And that triggered the bipolarness in her. And the result was that she thought everyone was an enemy. There was a sense of grandiosity, you would say, and that's what typically happens for people who are bipolar, swinging from one extreme to other extreme. They're intelligent, super intelligent people. So when people talk about, oh, this guy is a mental patient, that means that he's dumb. No, he's not dumb. He's probably too smart. And he doesn't know how to deal with the smartness. So she came over and we sat and we spoke, and whatever sentence I would say, she was like, Samir, next year I want to win the Oscar. I'm like, yeah, sure, we will do that. She says, no, I want to write a film, and I'll win the first screenplay of the writer. And I was just, again, after living with her for 1 week, I realized it's dangerous. In America, if you are diagnosed bipolar and you don't take your medicine, you can be arrested. Because you can cause harm to the society. The problem is that the genes that we carry, everyone, which lead to mental disorder, is present in almost everyone's body. It's genetic. It's just that when an incident takes place, one person might react one way and the other person might react differently. So unfortunately, if something goes wrong and your personality is the kind who is a nervous person, you might go on anxiety, panic mode. And if you don't have it, you'll be like, what is he doing? The thing is, we react to different situations differently. So it's in us. Nobody can, it's just that some of us is lucky that we go through our life in which we don't have to deal with something drastic, serious as mental health. So we don't understand. But other people who actually go through, whenever I think of people jumping off the building or whatever, it just breaks my heart. And they do that because they have no recourse. Because no one's going to understand how they feel. And they're tired. They're thinking, get me out of here. I don't want to be here. And that time I wish that his parents had diagnosed this much earlier, that he's more prone to have some kind of disorder and his life could be saved. So this friend that I was talking about who took his life, during COVID, he had to go somewhere and he borrowed my car. I said, all right, you can go. Absolutely intelligent guy. He was sending me tapes. He was, making scripts, writing stuff, writing songs. And I said, one day I got a call from the cops. And the cop said, sir, where is your car? Your car is on the highway. I said, I didn't leave it on the highway. He said, but your car is on the highway. I said, wait a minute. I called my friend. I said, buddy, what's wrong? I had given the car. Is it okay? Because police is calling me now. He said, yeah, relax, yeah. What are you saying? The car is right with me. A month goes by. The cops call me again. Mr. Samir Soni, your car is lying, it's rusting, you better do. And he was in complete denial. And he's a brilliant guy. I loved him to death. And, car is with me. Then I thought, this is really suspicious. So I sent my driver to the spot that the police had been saying. He had actually, he wasn't getting his medication during the COVID. He had taken the car, gone against the traffic, rammed into another car, ran away to Pune, and totally erased that part from his memory. And then finally he came back, and I met him, and I said, look, there wasn't a big deal here. You should just told me. The car is rotting for 1 month. Why did you let that happen? And he says, buddy, I'm so sorry. I wish I could. I said, so do I. I said, and then I showed him the pictures of the car. And he broke down and started weeping. And next night he took his life. And this thing haunts me every night when I think about it. What a waste of life. So I hope I've been able to establish a couple of things. One is, firstly, mental health is extremely important. If the processing unit doesn't work, you can't work. You are totally dependent on this. So you have to take care of it. And that is no issue, no trouble, no problem is small enough to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist or you have coaching people, life coaches. Whatever the issue is, please do not ignore it. It is more important than any other thing. Secondly, when someone is not behaving okay and you feel there's something wrong with him, don't laugh at him. Get him to a psychologist. Be gentle. Be kind. Be warm, and who knows, you might not lose a friend the next day. Thank you.